ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first week of qualifiers for the Smite World Championship Series. It's 2014, and we are beginning our next path all the way to January of 2015, where we will have a big blowout international tournament, including teams from Europe, North America, and China here in Atlanta. But before that, we have 11 weeks of qualifiers, a few more lands this year, and a whole lot of Smite to play. I will be your commentator for North America for this remainder of 2014, and joining me will be DM Brandon. Brandon, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much, Bart. I'm very excited to be here in North America. I started my roots here, and the North American qualifiers actually kick off this morning with top teams from around the continent. Second place at the Smite launch tournament coming in as first seed today. Team Dignitas returns, and after a few weeks in the practice field to defend their throne as Kings of North America, of course they have a hard road ahead of them. Third place at the Smite launch tournament and undefeated in the qualifiers leading to it. Cognitive Gaming returns with a small roster change as well, in that Jeff Hindla, famed support player and stealer of all things Fire Giant, joins the COG ranks in hopes to help COG reclaim their place at the top. Of course, don't forget about Snipe. I'm excited to see Snipe, Bart, a lot.
Yeah, new Snipe. Well, new Snipe, right? Replacing one player.
I think, Nick was an incredible player, but Jerby has had a really long history with this team. I mean, he was originally on Juice and on Root and everything else with Allied and Shing, and that small roster change, it might be a big play for them. It might be a big play.
So, I also want to talk about Team Barracuda, DM.
Yeah.
Someone that we don't really know too much about, of course. Well, we know about the player Barracuda. The Team Barracuda, made up primarily of members of Old Denial, Les, One, Pon, and Jeff Hindla.
Right, and we're going to have Dare to Care, and it's rumored that he'll be in the jungle. And they've done pretty well in the scrims over the past couple weeks. And I'm pretty excited to see Dare go to the jungle, because this is where Dare started.
That's right, yeah. I mean, old school jungle player, rotated into the support role for COG for a while there. And then I know that, the split with COG was pretty amicable. More of a release than a firing or anything like that. But, the addition of Jeff Hindla, I think that's probably the biggest trade in North America. Well,
Definitely.
We say it wasn't really a trade, but definitely the biggest player movement in North America in between the last two seasons here.
Well, aside from those guys, we have the top four teams coming out of the launch tournament. Down to Frag is back, the Game Changer back. We're going to see Pentablink in there today, and many, many more strapped down, because they're getting ready for the first week of our capped qualifier, which leads, of course, to the Smite World Championship Series.
So I don't know if we introduced this yet, but your first match today is going to be Team Barracuda going up against Manta Gaming. If you're following along at home in the brackets, that's going to be the G matchup on the challenge bracket there. The esports website brackets will be up shortly, guys. So getting into this one, we get to see how the new Denial team, now formerly Team Denial, now Team Barracuda, is going to be able to perform against Manta, a newer team, someone that we really haven't seen much of in the last year or so.
Like I said before, it's rumored that they're doing incredible throughout the week. I mean, a lot of the top players on a bunch of different teams are saying that this is the team maybe to be the most worried about, because not only are they incredibly skilled players, but they're ridiculously hungry right now. And no one really knows their strategies. These are players playing roles that they might not be in too much. It's rumored that we're actually going to see Painted Viande playing support to Madman Mark's ADC.
Well, no more rumors, DM, because we are in game. We're going to see exactly how it does go down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your first game out of the Smite World Championship Series here in 2014. Week 1, Game 1. It's going to be Team Barracuda versus Manta, and here we are, picks and bans starting to come out.
So it looks like we're going to have on the left side the Barracuda team. They're going to get first ban here, and it's going to obviously be Uller.
Yeah, no Uller for you.
Yeah, no Uller until Tuesday.
Yeah, no Uller.
Tuesday?
Monday morning.
Monday morning, so no patch, no Uller this weekend.
So, and remember, I guess we should probably explain a little bit more about the picking and banning phase as well,
right.
guys.
This is new.
So you're looking at the first two bans coming out from Team Barracuda. It's going to be Tyr and Uller. Manta has a chance to ban one more god before we go into a short picking phase where each team will pick 3 gods. Bastet banned out as well. Another thing I do want to point out is looking at the stats there, you see everyone is at 0%. That's because we haven't had any games yet so far in the North American series. So those will start to populate as the day does go on and the weeks go on. So now each team will pick 3 gods, and then we'll have another round of banning 1 god each, and then the final 2 picks. Basically, the way to think about this is that first you get first pick and first ban, or you get the chance to last pick and get the second ban out of the second banning phase, and then immediately go into a pick. So it'll become more and more clear as we go on. There's also a nice little infographic there for you if you want to look exactly how it goes. Or you can look at that beautiful blue line with the panner there at the bottom explaining what's going to be going on. But Sun Wukong coming out right away for Team Barracuda. I think no big surprise there. Scylla Nemesis. So newer gods, both considered pretty strong. Both
Scylla,
being
in my opinion,
considered.
Probably the best mage.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Incredible. So much damage, great space control. And if you don't focus her, she kills you. Almost guaranteed every time. And if you do focus her, she gets out because Sentinel is an insane movement ability. But they're both going to be locked in. Pretty obvious here. Option's going to go back over to Team Barracuda here with 2 picks. And then we'll see 1 more pick come out from Mantra. And then we're going to go back into banning phase.
That's right. That's right. We'll have another ban from each. And then, so really, like, being in that second position gives you the opportunity to ban in the second round and then immediately pick. And then the enemy team, the first picking team has to pick their final 2 gods. Also, another thing I do want to point out there is looking at those beautiful little hex graphs, ladies and gentlemen, where you see the style of teams that people are drafting. And, of course, you will get all of the player names here in just a second once the draft is complete. So I do want to take a quick moment, guys, as we see Hunbots being selected now by Team Barracuda. Interesting pick. Muzin being hovered over by Mantle. We'll get to that in just 1 second, guys, but I do want to give a big shout-out to our production team for this new overlay. So good on them. Show your support in chat, guys. I don't know, throw some Frankersies in there, something to show that you're all about it as well. As we're looking raise your productions okay, Manta going to select the Chalk over the Moose in there. So electing to pick up their Bruiser, likely solo laner over their duo lane. So now you're going to see the final bans coming out. Both teams, well, see, I would expect Barra here to be banning out Hunters because that's really where Manta has yet to draft. And I would expect it to probably be the Neath they're going to want to ban out here.
I would definitely take out Neath. That makes a ton of sense. It gets rid of that option. We get a Poseidon coming out from Mantra, and now switching over here, back over to Barracuda. Dare to Care has the option. There are still a lot of things left on this map right now. We don't see a lot of solo potential, and we see Chalk there at Nemesis, so we'll probably see Chalk go solo, but they haven't picked theirs yet, so they're probably going to want to leave that alone, and it looks like Odin.
Odin? Okay. I'll take. So it makes sense. And, they still need to draft their duo lane, right? And they want to make sure that they keep, that super S tier support out of the way.
Yeah, Muzin Cobb gets drafted over on the right side, so maybe the Neath pick wouldn't have been. I guess they weren't really going for it. He did hover on Muzin Cobb before, so it makes sense for them maybe not to go for the Neath pick. But option goes back over to Barracuda, and they have 2 picks remaining.
So there's going to be a Ra. So they actually have to draft the rest of their team here. So waiting on what Madman Mark's going to pick up here. And this is, I think Barracuda has gotten a really, really great draft here. I mean, looking at the hex graph there, a lot of carry potential, tremendous amount of mobility on this team, and some serious crowd control and team fight as well. Not necessarily the best gank lineup in the world, as you see there, and fairly limited on sustain, only really Ra bringing the sustain to the table, but a very, very potent team over there. Manta, on the other hand, also pretty high carry potential so far with their draft. They're looking at a Geb as well, but you can see that they're lacking a lot in their team fight. But hopefully this Geb pick, if they do go through with it, will be, it'll help them certainly with a bit of their mobility, a bit of their team fight. But sustain-wise, they're going to be relying really heavily on single-target sustain. Oh, it's going to be a quick snap over to Athena, giving them, a little bit of a global presence, but
Athena.
How much this really is going to augment their team. I mean, for the dual lane Athena B, of course, the Confound taunt keeping them in the honey for some time, but is that really going to be better than Geb for this burst lineup over here on
I was
Barra?
really looking for the Geb shield to protect Scylla more than anything.
That's right.
Not to mention Nemesis has a shield as well. Chalk has major damage reduction. I mean, that was kind of like a really cohesive comp, but drafting Athena here to maybe not counter, but maintain equality to the Apollo ult, I think that could help them out a lot.
So, I mean, you can see pretty clearly there on Manta, their team a little bit more of this kind of jack-of-all-trades style of team where, the gentlemen of Barracuda, a.k.a. 5 Angry Men, are are a little bit more, towards that offensive style. Now, another thing I do want to point out here is, and as you see the player names coming in for what they're going to be playing, that I think maybe the reason they moved away from Geb DM is that Geb Shield and Nemesis Shield do not stack.
Really? I didn't know that.
They do not know. The Geb Shield wins out.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Giving her, 1150 total?
That would have been a lot of HP.
On an already very mobile, very hard to kill god.
So we get a pretty strong draft here for Barracuda. I think I definitely give the picking phase to them here. They have the Hun bots to help disrupt. Really, the Hun bots' job in these team fights is going to be preventing Scylla and Chalk from using their abilities at key moments, right? Chalk's going to be wanting to position himself for rain call. Scylla going to be wanting to escape as well, and it's going to be up to that Hun bots to give them that lockdown and force out beads potentially as well. Some Wukong, of course, very strong in his rotations. Agni, very, very potent out of the mid lane. Possibly the best mid laner right now. Ra is going to be your solo laner as well. So, over a Manta, I think it's but they do have this Chalk Athena ult combination, which is really, really hard to stop from getting into the middle of the team fight as well.
Yeah, they have a very quick teleport, which is going to ensure that Athena can get to where she needs to be with Defender of Olympus every single time. And we're going to find out how that goes through when we get into Game 1. We're going to cut to a quick break, get everything set up, and we'll be back to actually launch the Smite World Championship Series, Bart.
I'm so excited, guys. Don't go anywhere. Game 1 up next. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 1 out of the 2014 Smite World Championship Series. My name is hi-rez Bart. Joining me on co-commentary is DM Brandon. And here we are in game number 1, where it's going to be 5 angry men going up against Team Mantra. Let's go ahead and introduce your teams. They are the blue team fighting out of the bottom side of the minimap and the left side of your spectator UI, ladies and gentlemen. 5 angry men tagged up as, it's going to be Pain Divion on your support side Wukong. It will be Dare to Care in the jungle as Hun bots, the double monkeys there. Rush will be your solo laner as Ra. Madman Mark in the duo lane, pairing up with Pain Divion as your hunter, as the Apollo. And Agni in the mid lane for Mace 2 to face. That will round out 5 angry men. DM, why don't you tell us a little bit about Team Mantra?
Mantra Gaming going to come in, a relatively unknown team. We're going to see Schnell playing that support role on Athena. Vizzle's coming through with the jungle Nemesis. Wicked Deathwish going to be playing solo lane Chalk. Sir Saint going to be going to the duo lane as the hunter, Amuz and Cobb. And finally, Ensign Chekhov, a rather famous, maybe ranked player playing mid lane Scylla. Now, to start this, I want to see how many of you caught Bart's mini slip there when he almost you can hear it. He got a little confused that Pain Divion is the support. He wanted to say the hunter.
Well, and I do also want to point out here, DM, Death's Toll apparently is extremely strong in the current meta here, or at least the 5 angry men seem to think so. Over in the left side lane here, Sir Saint getting really low. Madman Mark, in fact, even going to eat a tower shot there to try to get that final hit. But yeah, 3 Death's Tolls coming out, 4 on the board in total, but 3 on the side of 5 angry men. Tell us a little bit about that. Why are you running a support Death's Toll here for Pain?
Why not? I mean, it adds 15 damage. You're getting a little bit of sustain as well. They're looking for the fastest clear possible to get them to roam. Now they're jumping through again. A few more shots will do it, but Schnell will be able to escape. Same situation right side as we see Mantra getting pushed back behind their tower. Mid lane, same thing. Ensign Chekhov pushed back behind his tower. Everyone on 5 angry men is playing very angrily.
This is going to turn into a pretty large XP gap here if Mantra can't get these minions out from under their tower. The tower's, of course, going to start killing that down, and the tower does take away the gold from you as well when it does get a hit onto the minions, and really it's just been bullying all around. And look at the coordination from the 5 angry men here. Agni going to rotate aggressively to the red buff, and there's just no way to contest this. Too low out of the duo lane, only sitting at level 2 and 3, where you see Mace at 4 and Pain at 4. Madman Mark throwing out a dash just for funsies.
Yeah, I think he was maybe looking for an opportunity to go for that mid lane gank, but look at the damage coming through from the Magic Hug. Jingu Bang gonna slam that HP down and send Ensign Chekhov back to the base. Right side, you see Dare to Care trying to control this mid camp. Both Hand of the Gods should be ready. Both teams are going to go for it here. It doesn't look. I'm actually not sure who was
that. It went to 5 angry men. They get both camps there. They're going to find a stun out onto Weisels as well. Meteor coming through, leaping on top of Sunbots with the slow. Here comes the beam, just barely going to miss. Just one more auto attack, doesn't matter. Rush coming in with the heal, going to be enough to pick up a kill onto Weisels there. So first blood going the way of the 5 angry men.
You see that rotation. Ra was there before Chalk was able to even leave the lane. And this is a brand new mace to the face. I have been waiting to see this mace for almost a year. I remember talking to him at PAX Prime saying, man, you gotta be aggressive. You don't have to be scared. Just go in. You are one of the best players in the world. You have nothing to fear. And I see him dashing waves because he knows his teammates are communicating with him, telling him where, you know, the jungler is, telling them where the duo is. You can see it in the way that he's playing. And look at the lineup, making sure he's doing as much damage as possible. I'm very excited to see him playing the way that he is.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely fallen off from that kind of aggressive mid-style play once Hubwa kind of fell out of the, I guess, favor for him, where the Hubwa versus Isis matchup was so popular, and he was really a pioneer of that. Wow, over in the left side lane, the rotation comes in from Pain to Beyond. Just something that you can't really have happen there. I mean, Badman Mark, he's going to go down to the Nemesis rotation. Just a little bit of miscommunication, but Humbot's rotating it as well. They could find another kill on the Nemesis here. I believe her dashes are down. There is an ultimate available for Dare. It's going to be coming out here shortly. There it is. Nemesis shield not enough to stop her from getting stunned out. Going to throw out an ult onto Dare to care there just to try to save her life, get a little extra protection, but not enough. And down will go the return kill. So 3-1 now in favor of the Angry Men.
I think Madman Mark got a little bit complacent there. He dodged the stinger, he got out of the confound shield wall combo, he played it very well, and then got a little bit aggressive after they found the kill. He should have backed off, but Nemesis recognized the situation, rotated in fast enough, found herself a kill, but unfortunately was unable to get away. But like Bart said, using the ultimate there to ensure that Athena got away, I think was a very smart play.
There's going to be some very, very, very serious problems over here in this duo lane now. Athena sitting very low, Pain to Beyond at full HP. He has the opportunity to kind of bully them, zone a little bit out of this lane. Madman Mark's sitting at full HP, full mana. This Athena could be in some trouble. Not a lot of mana on Dare to Care and Pain to Beyond, but you gotta remember the Hunbot's leap does slow. So if they can somehow bait this, he's gonna actually miss that. So now it's gonna be a bit more difficult. Gonna try to stun out is Dare to Care. Oh wow, yeah, they really committed to that, the 5 Angry Men, but little bit of a miscommunication there. Once Dare to Care didn't hit his leap, they probably should have backed off, but they will, actually do some decent AoE damage there and get Sir Saint down just a bit, which just allowed him to steal blue buff. Just can't be contested right now from Mantra.
Honestly, I really like the play there from Dare. Using the last bit of his mana for Somersault was going to ensure that he gets a slow. And given the fact that right now Sir Saint doesn't have any CC immunity, nothing given to him inherently by his abilities, and level 1 sprint does not make you immune to slows, that would have set up the kill guaranteed, but you can't expect everyone to hit every ability every time. And with the good dodge and great potential coming out there from Sir Saint, it kind of saves them another point in the determination column.
Now, granted, Dare to Care is sitting at 0-2, and the Nemesis at 1-2. Or 0-2, I'm sorry, 2 assists there for the Hunbots over on Angry Men.
Face to the face!
Finding the meteors, going deep, yeah. I mean, he's really, really trying to bully the Scylla. I think that's a good call. Take a look at the left side lane where it looks like we have a bit more of an engagement. Dashing in is going to be Apollo. They're going to need to hit a lot of auto attacks here. I don't think there's another Sun Wukong ability available, but, the jungler's actually pretty close. A little bit ahead is actually Visel's over Dare to Care, and I think that's a little bit of the Bumba's mask allowing her to stay for an extra, XP camp early on there. Speaking of early on there,
speaking of early,
Gold
6
Fury.
minutes.
6
They're
minutes,
going for it.
And look at this. This is how a lot of teams will handle the Gold Fury as well. If you notice at the beginning of that fight, it's actually Madman Mark tanking it for the first couple hits, because Serenade gives you so much protection in the early game. The ability doesn't give you an additional percent, it just gives you flat. It can be very, very effective. Dare to Care as well, kind of snake away that red buff out from under Visel. So whatever experience and gold advantage there was for Mantra out of the jungle is now gone to that red buff steal.
Rushed unafraid. Now, Deathwish could really go for it. I think he has Hand of the Gods here, but he showed up too late. Both of them looks like it's going to go to Rush, and that's going to be a big play for them. As they go
level
on the
advantage
left side as well. They're
Two level advantage for Rushed over Wicked Deathwish.
That's the power of Ra right now. One of the strongest mages in the game. Great sustainability in lane, not only for himself, but for his minions. And incredible damage, incredible push. Lane clear is amazing, and he has very safe damage that he can apply to his enemies to ensure that he can get as much damage off as possible without taking too much in return.
So look how much damage Dare to Care is doing out of the jungle. Over the top, it's actually going to hit Pain. He's in the heal. Sir Saint has a decent angle here, but I'm not sure if he's confident enough to aggress into that Sun Wukong. You got to remember that passive of Sun Wukong is giving him so much protection when he is low on health that you can't really rely on Stinger to pick him up there. So it's actually going to be a sprint hop by the B to head back to the left side lane. Pretty big missed opportunity for him. Gonna go for the rotation, not even find any experience sitting in the jungle there. So allowing Apollo to pull more and more ahead now. DM taking a look at our graphs. It's going to be a 4,000 gold and 6,000 experience lead already on the board for the 5 Angry Men. And things are starting to get a bit hairy for them as well. One thing I do want to look at is we get rushed over here, the right side lane, just handling. Weisels comes in, drops the ultimate from Nemesis onto the Ra, but he just mans up, and there's just not enough damage out from Chalk at this point with the Pestilence too.
Look at this.
And look at Rush zoning at the enemy tower. And here's Mace to the face.
It was crazy. Like he's
the side steps are real. But Wicked Death in a lot of trouble. Meteor's dumped out by Mace to the face there, but both of these guys very, very low. This could very easily result into a tower picked up here in the first 10 minutes now for Rush. You can see already getting quite low. Mace to the face going to rotate in as well. They're going to dive this. Sun coming out. Do you have another beam rush? He's going to have to hit this one. There is the searing pain. Does he have enough? One more auto attack will do it. Indeed, he does. Rush going to waddle out of there now as the chicken should be okay. Rotating back into Nemesis now. This will be a dead Ra.
He can take the tower here.
Will this kill him? I'm not sure. Oh, it does count as tower.
Close.
Well done, sir.
Close. You saw just the edge of the slice and dice miss there. Good activation of sprint, but it should have been used earlier. And overall, I mean, we're not seeing too much loss here. Rush does go down, but of course, they don't get the kill point for it. That was an assist at best, which means he's not gaining too much experience or gold. Overall, I'm sure that 5 Angry Men is very, very excited about the way that went down.
In the mid lane there, during that engagement, Scylla did get picked up by a Hunbot rotation as well. Ultimate used to pick up that kill. Bot's also sitting on a Blink rank 2 that we haven't really touched on yet, allowing him to get a position. Chekhov having a lot of problems in the mid lane here up against the Agni. And as you mentioned, as you pointed out, Mace of the Face playing very, very aggressive. Smart stuff as, Scylla really only has a bad early game. That's her only really kind of weaker stage of her gameplay, and here you're getting basically a tutorial on how to shut down mid lane Scylla.
I'm actually pretty surprised here to see a very, very early Polynomicon come out. That's only giving him 75 magical power. He has no magical power attached to that at all, which means his Poly's going to be hitting for, with mitigation, 50, maybe 60. Oh, look at the jump-ins! Overhead smash, just barely going to miss. Didn't quite get the Z-chain that they were looking for, but the damage has been done, and again, Scylla will be sent back to the base here. Luckily for Mantra, Gold Fury has already been taken, so they don't have to worry about that pressure right now, but that red buff's about to respawn. This small camp is going to be taken. This is just not a good spot for them to be in right now. Yeah,
forcing out the Athena dash. And even look at that, Sir Saint, I mean, in the left side lane, has to go sit under his tower, for large periods of time as the two monkeys roaming through the jungle here, the Hunbots and the Sun Wukong, just so much lockdown and burst between them for non kind of glass cannon damaging rolls. And look at the positioning here for 5 Angry Men. They're just waiting. They're waiting for the Scylla to kind of rotate over and aggress the red buff before they start it. And now they see her rotating in, and Sun Wukong immediately going to force out the leap from her. So Schnell not going to be in position either. And this is just a little bit of a rout now by 5 Angry Men. They have full map control.
And look at the Gold Fury about to respawn, and you see them setting up. They're going for the mid camp just now. Gold Fury is in a very short amount of time. And look at the potential. Oh, they're going to jump in. It looks like they're going for it. Dare to Care just trying to get as much damage done as possible. It looks like Mace will miss one of the meteors, but get the stun in the back line. Oh, that's a really unfortunate.
Short distance Sentinel should have enough damage with the dive here. Meteor just going to miss. Yeah, I think something wrong continued in there. Pain de Vion, I think, showing a little bit of his newness. His greenness to the support role there. Definitely could have continued in with that Sovereignty rank 1 Iron Mail coming out. But they do finally convert a kill over into Rush on the right side lane. Chalk and Nemesis get quite low to do it, though. Just once again, yeah, Rush so strong. And also, yeah, they're going to go in, and that's going to open up the Gold Fury. I mean, just spreading out the map nicely there. Really, actually, that's not even really true. 5 Angry Men just really holding down the left side and dominating Mantra jungle. And anytime they invest to try to overload the right side and pick up the solo lane kill, the 5 Angry Men just rally up the left side, push mid, or take a Gold Fury.
Did you happen to catch that? Mace dashing into the wall?
No.
That one's for the blooper reel.
Oh, he tried to get around the corner and had a little fail moment there.
But they managed to get it. Overall, though, we have a 7,500 gold lead, and more importantly, an 11,000 experience lead. Rush level 14 right now. Mad Mark on the carry roll. Level 13. Mace to the face in the mid, and Dare to Care in the jungle, both level 12, and Pain to Beyond tied with anyone on the opposite team here at level 11 in the support role. Majorly attuned to the fact that early game, he kept up with Mark all the way to level 9. Heavenly Agility coming out in the mid lane. We got a stun on top of another stun, on top of the dash, on top of the slow, and he goes down.
So much CC there. Masters will knock up into the Hunbot's ultimate, just kept Athena in place. No ability to ult or dash out. You know, it's getting kind of ugly here for Mantra. You know, they have an early game team for sure. Nemesis not really a great late game carry. Chalk does okay in the late game. B really the best scaling, but when you're looking at a Hunbots on the enemy team, they pretty much have that late game secured. And with this lead in the early stages of the game, in the first 15 minutes here, 5 Angry Men up 8-2, sitting on about almost an 8,000 gold advantage. It's going to get very, very difficult for Mantra to fight them in the mid game once all the carry potential that's over on 5 Angry Men comes online.
Your middle tower is under attack.
So look at how deep they're going right now. They have no Hams. Nice shot coming out there from Payne, using that magic cudgel to its maximum effectiveness by just slamming it down every chance that he gets, ensuring that he can't be followed. And the damage that he's done throughout this game so far has been fairly incredible, putting it at close to 7k, which is, I mean, no one's in 8k yet. To see that kind of damage coming out from the support, especially at this point in the game, is incredible. And now pushing out the Athena, they're allowing themselves to go into the jungle safely. Not only are they going to fight this Chalk here and force out the ult, but they have free reign here at the speed buff.
Yeah, they're gonna, and speed buff, generally the buff that you would consider the most potent on the map. Nemesis going to come in. I mean, she puts herself into that position there. Cudgel coming out on top, and the Raw Snipe coming through as well. That's going to pick up a kill on a Schnell as well as Dare to Care comes over the top. So a little bit of a over aggression there by the Nemesis, knowing how important that buff is, and it looks like 5 Angry Men they're considering a Fire Giant play, but no, it's going to be mass recalls coming out. Scylla she can't just sentinel into this, and in fact, Mesa Face is going to spot out and check off and force him back on that Scylla as well. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying a bit earlier, you know, it's Scylla really the best scaling god over here on Team Mantra. And it's going to be pretty tough for them to go toe-to-toe with the amount of damage coming out from Madman, Mark, Dare to Care, even Pain Devion and Mace to the Face later on in this game.
Man, I'm just so blown away at the teamwork in the last fight. Did you see, like, the perfect cross that they made with the Flame Wave and the Searing Pain, or rather the Path of Flames and the Searing Pain? It was just beautiful. We get a blink in here, ult under the tower, goes right for it. A monster does not go off, but it will be on cooldown. Ensign Chekhov feeling the power of Hunt Bots here, the monkey from space.
Space Monkey. Space Monkey OP.
Yeah, I love that skin.
Moonbots.
Moonbots.
I
feel like there was a missed opportunity there.
Yeah. We look back on that one in shame and horror. So 5 Angry Men still with this map control, just holding down the left side so effectively. The enemy jungle just completely dominated. Over in the left side lane, let's take a look as they dive in. Apollo coming in, crashing, and that's going to be enough to pick up Sir Saint. Schnell getting in some trouble now, as well as Athena, trying to clear out for the dash. But, I mean, as you see there, 5 Angry Men, you know, they've played the Athena game before. If you just stand in front of her and don't give her an opportunity to dash out, you know, her dash does stop when it hits an enemy god. So you kind of can just go for the old Warcraft 3 surround. And, I mean, look at that. Look at the Jingu Bang. The level 13 on the support, out-leveling the enemy jungler and 2 levels ahead of the enemy mid. That means the Jingu Bang is doing so much damage. You know, it's just hitting him so hard. And so, I mean, you can see Vaisel's taking 2 to the face now, sitting at about 3/4 health. And that's before Madman Mark and Mesa Face even start bringing in the Pain. So look how slow Pain Devion is rotating around. But the zoning is fine, and the auto attack's coming in. And, you know, really, if I'm Mantra here, you better start running, because once the tower goes down, you can believe they're going in hard. Pain Devion gonna be the target they try to initiate on, but of course, that's the Sun Wukong ultimate coming out, make him invulnerable and healing him up. Vaisel's now the one in some trouble. Burst Madman Mark, and now it's going to be an easy disengage from 5 Angry Men. Nothing to really try to close this distance with a Nemesis down. Tough stuff for Mantra.
Overall, I mean, they're just controlling the fight part. Did you notice that when they were pushing into the tier 2, the crush from Scylla, her second ability, did not even clear the archers?
She doesn't have any power.
That's rough. I mean, you see him. He's sitting on Shoes of Focus and Polynomicon. That's just not enough damage at this point in the game. And now another Gold Fury, it looks like, is going to go the way of 5 Angry Men.
It's 140 magical power. When you look over at the Raw sitting at 170, Agni sitting at almost 200. There's just nothing they can do. That Polynomicon's only adding another, you know, maybe, as you said, maybe 100 damage, 120 damage now after mitigation, which means her full, you know, Scylla really a god that excels at killing. She does have 100 to 0 potential with that massive high damage ult, especially with a poly on top of it. And here she's looking at best, taking someone down to half health.
Oh, we got another fight. Nemesis trying to put herself into the back line here. She's going to get stunned. She's going to get hit by the Searing Pain. There goes Path of Flames and Flame Wave. She's dotted. The bomb will miss, and he will be able to get out as Chuck is trying to hold off 4 people to this Phoenix here. But little do they know that they don't need to go for the Phoenix. There's still a tower there. They still have a tower in the mid lane to deal with and in the right lane. Phoenix exposed on the left lane, and of course, the ever-present Fire Giant still available, able to turn this game in a heartbeat. We have seen leads much larger than this Bart thrown, especially in lieu of the Fire Giant. This really, they're still in the game on the Mantra side. They just have to be careful and they have to pick their fights wisely.
Yeah, so it definitely can still be brought back by them, but it could start here at this orange buff. They can first out Dare to Care and Mesa face two very important targets. Looks like Dare to Care maybe taking a spill here. No, they're not going to convert enough off of that silence from Chalk, and now the split going to be coming out from Mantra. Dare to Care, the one that's going to be the target. He's going to miss, stun out. Blink coming out as well. They bought enough time. Now it's Wicked Death getting turned around on. Down will go Visel's crashing in as the Apollo. Down goes Wicked Death. Schnell in trouble as well. Down he'll go. Double kill for Madman Mark. 3 kills turned around from 5 angry men. No conversion from Team Mantra.
And that's going to lead them directly to the Fire Giant. Already, they're 13, almost 14,000 in the lead and 23,000 experience with nobody at level 20. That is a flat 23,000 experience lead, something we don't normally see, and that increases to 24,000 with still no level 20s. I think that might be the biggest experience lead I think I've ever seen in tournament.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that. I mean, I think I've seen a 30k before, but that's like at the very end of the game, as all the towers are going down and everyone's getting pushed out and farming kills. For a game pre-20 minutes, that is an enormous lead. And the base damage value. I mean, abilities coming up from Schnell right now on the Athena, or even on the level 12 Nemesis there. Base damage from something like Cat Form there from Sun Wukong's probably doing about twice as much damage. Madman Mark just ripping through. His Rage Blade is complete, and he's level 19, which means that his So Beautiful is going to be hitting for about 400 damage. Monkey's Overhand Smash about 390 as well. And you can see, there's the crits coming out from Madman Mark into the triple kill. He's going to get a quad here. He's hunting the Penta. Can they find Sir Saint? First tournament Penta of the year. No! Mace of the Face going to take it away. Scumbag Agni. But that could very well be the game here. Surrender votes starting to come out for Mantra. I think it should be enough, at least for the rest of the Towers and Phoenixes, to come off the board. About another 20 seconds of respawn for the Chalk and the Muzenkopf there. But what play there by 5 angry men, stealing a Penta away from their Apollo, but nonetheless getting a wipe.
Sometimes you got to ignore the Penta and you got to just go for the win, and that's what they're doing here. It's a very smart strategy. They don't want to give anything away, and honestly, you got to give it to them, not only to the 5 angry men, but to Mantra. These players are incredibly talented, and they've unfortunately come up against 5 people who probably want to win this tournament more than anybody in the world.
Yeah, definitely have something to prove, losing 2 of their best players, coming back out, changing some things around, putting their Hunter player into a support role, and it looks to be working out pretty well for the 5 angry men. Huntbot's ultimate coming out. Down will go Chalk. Burst it down so much. Down will go Visels as well. A mortal spree for Madman Mark and another double kill. That's 2 double kills and a quadra so far in this game for him. Titan now going to try to fight Pain to Beyond, but at this point the Sun Wukong about as tanky as that Chaos Titan. Down it will go. 5 angry men will take game 1 out of the Smite World Championship Series.
Man, what an incredible first game that we were able to see here. I think this is one of the first tournaments. I don't think we have Pompon in this tournament at all today, and he used to be the jungler for what is now 5 angry men, and they have replaced him with Dare to Care, the former support of Cognitive Gaming, and to start the tournament off like that, I really don't see much weakness to be shown.
Yeah, that was a very dominant performance, absolutely. I think shoutouts to Mace to the Face there. I'm sorry, Dare to Care there. In that jungle role, 4-1 and 16 on Hunbots. Got a very early Jotun's Wrath and really helped dictate the pace of that game, especially in the left side lane. Really bully the duo lane effectively, where Rob was able to hold off from Rush, hold off the Nemesis and Chalk really well. So between the solo laner and the jungler, I think that game was won.
Overall, I mean, the damage was incredible here. Did you see Pain to Beyond at almost 12k? He almost kept up with Rushed, who's on Raw. Full lane snipes. Of course, he has the Celestial Beam damage. Oh, but we shouldn't take this away from Rush because he also put out 10,000 in healing in, 25 minutes?
Yeah, healed up a lot. I mean, that's really actually a lot more than I would have expected, considering how short that game was. Also, yeah, I mean, look at the bots, though, man. 16,000 player damage. I mean, once again, Dare to Care, topping the charts there. Really, really great play. Also, gotta love the 403 gold per minute across the board there for pretty much for 5 angry men. 402 on Pain to Beyond, 403 on the mid laner and the jungler as well. But what's really scary is when you look at Mantra's gold. Gold per minute, all of them sitting under 300 gold. Everybody on 5 angry men above 400.
I think Nemesis is definitely one of the strongest characters in the game. But if she gets shut down early, you just can't bring her back into it. And that's what happened there. She had no damage for Slice and Dice. She couldn't dive in because there was no defensive items built. it just wasn't enough for her to really get back into it. Same thing for Scylla, 040. The one kill she was going to get, Derek Hare was dead. Dead to rights, stuck in the middle of I'm a Monster after taking a bunch of damage from the Titan, and then Madman Mark kills Ensign Chekhov frames before he died. Incredible.
Yeah, it was when they were chasing through that fire giant pit, and you saw the smoke come down from Agni. It was about to get ugly really quick there. They continued to aggress into the stun, crashing from Apollo. Derek Hare got the blink. Really, really nice play. So it looks like we do have a quick replay here for you guys, but I do want to, as you guys watch this, continue on talking about a little bit about the play here from Madman Mark, something that we definitely didn't really talk too much about. Sitting at 12-1 on the Apollo. What play?
I mean, he was just incredible throughout the entire game. A little disappointed we didn't get the penta there, but 15,000 damage, 1 death dropped, and that was in a very aggressive death. He picked up a kill and then, of course, got rotated in. But 12 kills in that amount of time, with the fact that his team was also killing a lot. We have 4 kills on Hunbot, 6 on Rush, 2 on Mace, and 3 on Pain, and he still managed 12? That's teamwork.
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, only 5 assists there, but the 16 on Derek Hare and Mesa face a piece plus 18 assists on Pain Devion. Jigu Bang, OP.
I mean, I think Apollo was a great pick here. A lot of people are talking about who they think the best hunters are. Where are they going to lie on a tier list if Uller is getting dropped? Apollo is looking very shiny right now.
I'm surprised that Mantra drafted the B here.
Yeah,
to be perfectly honest with you. After Hunbots came out, I'm surprised they would draft a B. Just no escape, just such easy bullying coming out for that Hunbots. Hunbots has so much, I guess, he has so much influence over where the B can really position himself without bead sprint really early. It's gonna be very tough for that matchup to actually work at any point in the game. I mean, and you see Moves Cobb does buy into beads 3 and sprint 2, but it just wasn't enough to actually live there, DM.
Well, we're going to cut to a quick break here, Bart. That was the first game on the Smite World Championship Series.
I know, it feels good, man. It got the jitters out.
I know, man. That was great. I mean, I want to thank Dare to Care for carrying me through that game. We're going to cut into Game 2 here, guys, in just a little bit. Stick with us. We'll be right back.